All right, so lastly, let's talk about the big scary subject. Hey, how can you get more art into your classroom? Okay, now if you're going to go full arts integration mode, the seamless integration, all those ideas that we talked about, that's not something that comes about easily. Okay, it's something that takes a lot of effort, okay, and almost a directive from the school because you need a ton of common plan time for teachers to get together, figure out how they can integrate their lessons together. It takes a ton of professional development where people are learning, people are constantly evolving what they're teaching to figure out how to integrate these things. And it takes a lot of patience too. That's not a change that comes about easily. So what I want to do is talk a little bit more about, what you can do on the local level, okay, what you can do in your own classroom as far as creating an environment that is beneficial for the arts. And you may be sitting there right now going, oh, I'm not an artist, I can't do this. And it doesn't matter if you can do it or not, honestly. Okay, all we need you to do is give your kids the opportunity to do it. Whether you can do it or not is irrelevant. Okay, what you need to do is give your kids the opportunity to do that. And so you can't draw at all. Not a big deal. Okay, you can't sing, you can't dance. That's fine. Okay, just give your kids the opportunity to do those things. Okay, and even if you're not skilled in those practice, there are those basic building blocks of every subject that can be communicated to those kids. And there are things that are the basis for, everything that's done. Okay, visual arts, for example. Okay, there are the elements of art, line and shape and texture and color and form. Okay, and, there are the principles of design. There's the color wheel. Okay, and even if you can just pass those basic things along to those kids, okay, and then let them explore from there, then you're going to be good. Okay, with theater, there's basic, play setup, play design, and there are theories on acting that you can do. Okay, there's basic music theory, there's basic ideas in dance. And if you can just sort of communicate those to your kids and let them take it from there, okay, they'll learn what they need to learn. Okay, a big part of the arts is about letting kids explore, okay, letting kids do what they need to do. Okay, and through that exploration, okay, and through that curiosity, they're going to figure out different things. They're going to learn a lot more. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be you teaching them. Okay, a lot of times it can just be you giving them the opportunity, okay, and then they will teach themselves. The other big thing that you can do, which I think is always really helpful, is just try and foster an appreciation for the arts inside your classroom. Yeah, that could be something really, really small, like, hanging up some different art posters. Okay, if you get, a good print of Van Gogh's Starry Night, okay, and then maybe talk about it for a little bit. Okay, have those sorts of things hanging around the room. Okay, just little things like that can start to foster an appreciation. And then if you're just giving kids the opportunity to incorporate art a little bit more into what they're already doing, and maybe you have the kids draw a little bit, in the notes that they're taking. And let's say that you're talking about the water cycle, for example. Okay, illustrate the water cycle. Okay, let them add some drawing to what they do. Okay, let them dance about something. Let them make up a song. Okay, let them play music. Let them act out a play, a skit, a Dr. Seuss book. Okay, let them act that out. And even those small things will really, really help kids have an appreciation for the arts and sort of start to explore all those ideas that we kind of talked about. And then another thing that's really, really easy to do, very simple to do, is just kind of have, some basic expectations for when you do art. Make sure it's not a throwaway thing. Like if you're having kids sketch or draw examples. Okay, make sure they look good. Don't just say, okay, go draw, and then let them turn in anything. And just basic ideas with the drawing. Like, have kids draw big, have them color solid, have them fill the whole page. Make sure their drawings look good. You don't need to necessarily give them drawing instruction, but as long as you make sure it's not this little tiny drawing in the middle of the page with a ton of empty space around it, okay, that's not going to look very good. But if you encourage kids to zoom in, draw big, make sure that their coloring isn't terrible, and those sorts of things, they may seem small, but they're going to foster a little bit more of an appreciation. And if you are demonstrating those things are important to you, they're going to become important to the kids as well. And so just even that basic idea of, hey, we appreciate art, hey, we want our art to look good, yeah, that's going to start to integrate more art into your lessons, okay, into what you do in your classroom. That's going to give kids more of an opportunity to appreciate, okay, and interact with the arts. And then, one thing I was thinking about is, just coming up with a few examples of different ideas that you can do that will incorporate some arts into some of your lessons. And so, math, for example. Okay, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Andy Warhol. Okay, he does a lot of different printmaking things with, Campbell's soup cans and self-portraits and whatever else. Okay, but he does a lot of repetition, a lot of pattern, a lot of design inside of there. Okay, you can talk about sequence, things like that. You can do tessellations, okay, and turn those into something really artistic. Okay, you can do grid drawings where you have something small, okay, and you grid it out with squares every inch, and then maybe we enlarge it to 2 or 3 times the size. Kids do the math, they use the ruler, they do the gridding to enlarge that drawing, make it look better, and the entire time they're using math skills. Okay, if you want to let them build a little bit more, okay, have them build a marble run, okay, have them design a roller coaster, have them build a Rube Goldberg machine. Anything like that can really bring out some different artistic ideas when you're doing math. Okay, science, for example. Okay, look at things under a microscope. Have kids draw them. They can make for great, like, abstract, colorful drawings. Okay, like I talked about with notes, the water cycle. Have ideas go in there for what they can illustrate. Okay, what can they show their understanding of with science, okay, through the visual arts. Okay, for different animals, have them draw animals, have them draw those animals' habitats. Okay, have them draw those animals in the middle of a hunt or in action. Okay, those sorts of things that just sort of demonstrate a little bit more understanding. Go outside and draw the planets with sidewalk chalk. We can look at size relations. We can look at how far apart different things are. And there are just so many ideas out there. English, language arts, those are probably my favorite. There's so many different ideas, whether it's something super simple, like, illustrate some of your vocabulary words, or one that I like, if you have an old dictionary, have kids tear a page out, which they're gonna love, by the way, and then right on that page, have them illustrate one of those words. Pick one of the words out of the dictionary, illustrate that right on top of that page. Okay, so that's something that's a little bit destructive, a little bit fun, okay, and something they'll really enjoy. And I love having kids write about art. Okay, if you need to do descriptive writing, if you need to do writing that has to do with analysis, have them write about art. Find some famous paintings that they can write about. Okay, one of my favorite activities that I do is what we call a blind date. And so I'll find portrait of 2 different people, and basically we pretend that they're going to be set up on a blind date. And so, person number 1 over here, we write a dating profile for them, all of their interests, their personality, likes, dislikes. Okay, same thing for person number 2, write that out. Okay, and then we'll go into the storytelling aspect of it. So we have this personality that we've developed for this person. Okay, this personality we've developed for this one. Okay, and then when they get together, what happens? Okay, what happened before the date? How did it get set up? What happens during the date? Where did they go? What about afterwards? Are they going to see each other again? Do they hate each other? Never want to talk again? Let kids make up that story. And, if you want to go into the theater thing, let kids act that out. Okay, and you can develop that personality, which again creates, such a better understanding, okay, and more empathy, and a lot of those skills that we talked about, it goes back toward those. And English language arts has so much that you can do. Okay, and then social studies, history. Okay, draw a day in the life of a king or a peasant or a serf or whatever. Okay, recreate propaganda posters from World War I and World War II. Okay, draw maps, draw how, borders have changed throughout the years. So many different ideas, timelines, histories, events, all of those things that can work. Okay, and then there are so many ideas that have connections throughout all subjects. Okay, if you do something like mandalas, okay, that's something worth looking up. Okay, if you do Islamic art, okay, all of a sudden we're talking about math, we're talking about history, have kids write about it, we're talking about English and language arts, all those things tied up, okay, into one idea. And that's just with the visual art, not to speak of, music or dance or theater or other things that could go along with that. So there are a ton of ideas out there, and I would encourage you to explore that and even just find the simple ways that you can bring more art to your kids.